We're visiting with Ross Dellenger of Sports
Excuse
Illustrated.
me.
Always out front, Ross is on all the breaking news, and you had some reports about Dave Aranda, who I think is still the highest paid assistant coach in college football, defensive coordinator at LSU. And so I see the stuff about UNLV, and I heard it on the radio. I almost drove off the road. What?
Yeah.
Here's a guy at as high a profile program right now as you can get, and he's the highest paid assistant in college football, defensive coordinator at LSU. Now, LSU's defense, we talked about it earlier in the show, right? We just talked about it to a certain extent. I'm not saying it's a bad defense, but now we're talking about UNLV. What's going on? I mean, he didn't take the UNLV job, but why would he be in the mix for that? And you've also mentioned, I've seen that maybe the NFL could be in his future, but why would that happen? What would be behind that?
Well, I think for any coordinator, there you run your time at one school. You're there too long sometimes. Dave has been at LSU now for 4 years, and maybe it's time. Maybe he feels like it's time to leave. I don't know, but I know this. I know that contrary to what a lot of people believe, Dave does want to be a head coach. Now his next step might not be that. Maybe it's an NFL defensive coordinator, as a lot of people believe. But it's probably somewhere, which one of those two, probably. And we saw a couple of years ago, Dave almost left for Texas A&M. So this has happened before, and I think you could see in January and February a potential departure, from Dave maybe to the NFL or if another college job opens. But here's the thing: it's a lot of people talk about the money. He does get paid $2.5 million. It's the highest paid assistant. But at some point, it's you got enough money, and I'm sure Dave has saved up enough money where he can take a pay cut, and he would have had to for UNLV. He would have had to probably around, I don't know, $800,000 to $1 million pay cut, which seems steep, and it is steep. But if you want to be a head coach, sometimes you got to do that. And what job is Dave going to leave for where he can make more money? It would have to be basically at the Power 5 level at this point. So if he can't get one of those, he's got to go somewhere. And I think there were pretty deep talks with UNLV, and as me and I think Bruce Feldman reported, it was pretty close.
Well, is there something about that program? I mean, the Fertittas, is there a lot of money?
Yeah, there's some money, and I think they were promising some resources and money that they maybe had previously not spent. They also have a new football facility. They'll be playing in the new Raiders football stadium in Vegas there. And I think they're promising some resources again that maybe they haven't previously had. And there was a lot of things I think they checked off. I wish I could tell you I knew what happened in the end and why maybe things kind of went the way they did. But $1 million pay cut is steep.